Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I am fortunate enough that I have people joining in from all over the place, so I'd like to greet you properly. Um, it is bright and early in Central Daylight Time where I am, and today is Transformation Tuesday. And what I promised yesterday is that we would spend some time talking about the different stages of transformation, or no, not so much the stages, but at the process. So, a typical transformation process. And it is important for you to realize where you are in that process because as you move through it, there's different things that are happening. There's different things that need to happen. So the more that you're aware of the process itself, the better you are able to manage it and move through it and recognize where you are and see that you may not quite have hit your goal yet, but you're making progress. You're moving through. Things are happening. So I see quite a few people joining from different places. So I'll take just a break and greet who I see already, and then we'll get started in just a moment. Good morning, Kimberly. I see you joining from YouTube and from Facebook. Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, Alicia. I am glad you ladies are with us as usual. I appreciate your consistency and your support, and I appreciate you showing up. I also see some people joining in from TikTok. I want to welcome you as well. It's a little bit harder for me to see you guys because you're on a smaller screen, but I can definitely see that you're there and that you're scrolling through. And if you actually say something, drop a comment, I will be more than happy to recognize you and greet you as well. I just saw some hearts fly through, but it's hard for me to see where those are coming from. But I acknowledge that you're there. I am grateful that you're there. And we are going to get started talking about transformation and processes to get through, steps in the process to get through transformation. So let's start by asking ourselves, what is transformation? Right? Transformation, there's a lot of letters in that word, but at the end of the day, we're talking about change and we're talking about a significant change. Every week when we cover this topic, I show the same graphic on all my social media platforms, and it's the caterpillar going through the multiple stages and eventually spreading its wings and becoming a butterfly. That's a significant process. It lies dormant in this funny looking cocoon, all wrapped up in the dark. And as things transpire, there's a lot that's going on inside of there. And then eventually we see what we really love and appreciate, the beauty of that butterfly when it spreads its wings. It can soar. It you see it on your flowers, that you see the beauty of it. You don't see any of that in the beginning. And we're no different. We've got this work that's going on the inside. That's why we're showing up here every day, Monday through Friday, and we're talking about the things that'll help us transform, help us get clear about our goals, and help us build plans to get there, to reach those goals that are so important to us. But in the beginning, it's tight, it's dark in there. No one can see what's happening. We don't know what that butterfly, that caterpillar feels like when it's in that process. But we can somewhat imagine some of those darker days, time where people are not really getting in. They can't see, they can't buy into your vision. They have no idea that there's this burning going on the inside, that things are happening. And you may be in a stage where it's you and only you that's aware. That's the beginning of your transformation process. The first stage of transformation is to become aware of the fact that you need to transform, that there's something that you want to change. And it may involve recognizing that your current situation or how you've done things before is no longer working for you. It just doesn't work. It's no longer effective, or it's not sustainable. I remember a few years ago, around the time I was 50, I woke up what felt like one magic day where I was kind of mad at the world. And most people, Kim's on, she's seen my mad side, so she knows that it exists. But most people that know me, they think about me as somebody who's pretty positive all the time. I've always got a smile on my face. I'm always pretty much happy and looking at the positive sides of things. But on the inside, things were changing. Something was going on. And I remember saying to myself, man, I'm in my 50s. Mathematically, I've lived about half my life or more, right? At least half of my life is gone, is how I said it to myself. And that woke something up inside of me because I realized that that was a true statement, but it was also true that I wasn't living the life that I wanted. I was always a good student. I don't know if my mom's on yet, whether she'll agree with this or not. Kim, shh. I was always a good girl. I was pretty good. There were things that I went through just like any typical kid, teenage phases, all those different phases where we're a little bit rebellious or but in the grand scheme of things, I've always kind of liked the rules. The rules were a safe place for me. They told me what to do, where to go, where not to go, that kind of thing. And so I could kind of operate within that space. I could still get into some stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, the way I'm put together, the way I'm wired, I prefer the rules. I like to see the boundaries and know where they are. And I'm not one of those people that's really, really pushing up against them and seeing just how far I could go. I had to learn some of those skills because it's not naturally how I'm put together. But I woke up and I was mad and I was frustrated and I was looking at my life and I was going, there has to be more to it than this. And most people who knew me, they saw success. They saw somebody with a family. They saw someone with a career. They saw someone who was financially stable. So most people assumed that my life was good. And to a certain extent, that's a fair assessment. But when I dug down as a person and I thought about what was important to me, the things that I really wanted to do, the things that I was saying yes to, the things that I wanted to say no to, I was completely out of alignment. My values and my goals and my actions, they were all over the place. I was really out of balance and not thrilled about how my life had unfolded to that point. And so I went through a phase where I went extremely the other way. Hey, it was either my way or the highway. I was only doing what I wanted to do, and I lived my life for everybody else. It's my turn, and that's kind of how we can be. We can go from one extreme to the other. And then over time, as I worked through some of those things, I started to find my balance again, and I could find the where I was able to keep my boundaries and honor myself and what was important to me and still have room for other people and how we could collaborate and work together and how I could be supportive of others. But there was a period in time where I was so frustrated that I felt like I didn't care. It's like I've given away more than I've ever received and it's my turn and I need to just sit back and relax. But at the end of the day, what I discovered was how I was living my life was no longer sustainable. It wasn't working for me anymore. So I had to do something different. And that'll bring you to step two. Once you realize that there's a need for change, whatever the reason is, then you have to start to create a vision for what your life should be, how it is that you would like for it to be. And so that's the next step is you create that vision and you look at what your desired future state is. And it involves setting goals, identifying the results that you want, and really getting a good clear picture of, okay, I've been in this cocoon. I've been living this life in the dark. I've been allowing these things to happen on the inside. But what do I want my life to look like in the future? We know from the time that caterpillar is there, it becomes a cocoon. In the cocoon, it becomes a caterpillar, but it's going to eventually become a butterfly. Your vision of your life as a butterfly has to be really clear. How broad are your wings? What colors are your wings? How far can you fly? What are you seeing as you're flying over things? Where are you? Who are you spending your time with? What are the types of things that you're doing? You have to get really, really clear about that and you have to create that vision. The Bible says write the vision, make it plain, right? You have to know what it is that you desire. Otherwise, you just kind of stay in that state of frustration. So you go from awareness to creating the new vision. And from once you're clear about what it is that you want, then you've got to get busy planning. That's the next phase. What's the journey? What will the journey look like? What will take you from where you are right now to where it is that you would like to be? So you've got to take those goals and start to break them down. What are the steps that you're going to take in order to move from the caterpillar to the butterfly? What has to happen for that transformation to take place? That's your planning stage. And after you've planned it out, it's time for action. How are you going to execute this plan? I was working on a course last night. It's going to come out soon because I finally finished it up. And when we talked about the goal setting part, what's the big goal? The big goal is to be a butterfly. When do you want to be a butterfly? 6 months from now, a year from now? Fully matured, majestic butterfly with all your colors, vibrant, soaring over the world, your world, seeing the things that are important to you, interacting with the people that you want to see. That's where you want to go. But right now, you're still in the cocoon. So, what are the steps that it's going to take for you to get from point A to point B? If you just focus on that butterfly stage, it can get overwhelming really quickly because it's hard to see I'm just a caterpillar. It's sure I'd love to be a butterfly, but today I'm just a caterpillar. But if you break that goal down into actionable steps, if I want to do this, be here in a year, what am I going to commit to doing each quarter that's going to get me there? All right, each quarter has 3 months. What am I going to do each month to get me from where I am now to where I'd like to be? Each month has 4 to 5 weeks. What am I committing to accomplish each week so that I can get from where I am right now to where I'm desiring to be? How am I going to become that butterfly? And each week has 7 days. I'm assuming you're going to take some weekend time off and we're just going to focus on Monday through Friday. What are you going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week to move you towards your goals? You already have broken your goals down all the way from yearly to quarterly to monthly to weekly. And now you're writing down those daily activities that are necessary for you to win the week. What are you going to do each day? If you take your goals and you break them down like that, if you get that kind of clarity for yourself and you commit to days of action that's going to move you step by step, that's how transformation happens. And that's how it sticks. That's how you stay motivated. That's how you keep moving. That's what keeps you from getting overwhelmed. And you can look, month 1, by month 1, I've hit 4, if not 5 weeks of success, day by day by day, step by step by step. Don't get so hung up on the big picture, the end goal, that it blows you away. You just can't imagine how you're going to get there. You're going to get there by breaking that thing down into those actionable steps. You have to execute. What does Nike say? Just do it. You have to get to the phase where you move from planning to putting your energy, your resources, your focus into action so that you can accomplish that thing. So we're moving through those steps pretty quickly. We've gone from recognizing that something needs to be done, the awareness, to creating our vision of what we would like to see once the transformation has happened. How do I become that butterfly? To planning the steps, creating your goals and breaking them down into actionable steps. And now you're day by day executing against your plan. I'm sure you guys have heard people say, plan your work. That's just phase 1. Then you've got to work your plan. You have to put the energy in to get it done. And then after execution, You're moving, you're taking those small steps to get you there. Then you want to monitor. That's the next phase. Once you're in the action stage, the next thing you want to do is monitor. How are things going? It's important to monitor your progress and measure your results against your goals. Important. That's a regular assessment, maybe once a month or so, every other month. Just stop and take a look and go, okay, I was in this cocoon. It was dark, it was tight, no one could get very close to me, no one knew what was going on in there. And now a couple months have passed. Am I starting to see a little light seep in? Maybe there's a little bit of room in here because I'm starting to break out. What's happening? Are the right things happening? Are you accomplishing what it is that you desire? If not, during your assessment, you've got to ask yourself, why not? Where am I off? Am I sticking to my plan? Or maybe as I've started to move through and accomplish some of the things that I laid out, I've learned something. I've learned some things, and I realized that how I had it laid out is not exactly how I'm going to get there. I may need to tweak this. I may need to change that. So transformation is not linear. It's not, you're just not going to go from A to Z. All these steps in between are going to get you there. And some one of the steps may be making some adjustments. Maybe something big in your life happens. Something comes your way that you didn't anticipate. You have to incorporate that into your plan. What's not going to serve you is to just get frustrated and look at that thing that has happened. Throw up your hands. I'm done. I see hello from Russia. Hello from Russia. Thank you for joining. You want to monitor, you want to keep watching and adjusting. That's how you stay on course, and that's how you stay successful. And then, so we've gone from awareness, something needs to change, to vision. This is what I'd like to see a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever is your timeline, to planning. Here's how I'm going to get from point A to point Z, and then executing, taking all those steps along the way to get there so that you can see yourself progressing and making steps towards your end goal. And then you're monitoring, you're checking in with yourself, you're looking at your plan. You should start to really see things, especially those daily items. They're falling off your list, a few things every day. And you can look back at that and go, look at me. I'm getting it done. I'm making it happen. And that's encouraging. That's building self confidence. That's motivating yourself. And you never know who you're motivating along the way. Someone's always watching. It may be your kids. It may be a good friend who needs change themselves, and they see the butterfly emerging in you, and they want to know what's going on. You just never know. As you're building your plan, as you're moving towards the life that you desire, you never know who you'll be helping along the way. And then it's reflection time. And that's a critical stage in the transformation process, because you want to reflect on what's working and what's not. I talked about that a little bit in the monitoring phase as well. You're really keying in and going, okay, this is what I thought. This is how I figured this would go. Is it working that way? Do things need to change? So you monitor, you reflect, and you make the adjustments that you need to along the way. And then integration. That's an important phase, because then you're integrating all this new knowledge, all the changes. You have to integrate that into your life. As you're doing all these things, if mentally you're still thinking like a caterpillar and you've become a butterfly, you're going to start to have some conflict in yourself, and you're going to start to have a difficulty staying in that mindset and continuing to do the work that's necessary for you to have the life that you desire. You have to integrate it in. You're no longer the same person. You may walk a little taller. You think a little bit differently. You move through the world differently than you did when you were a caterpillar. As a caterpillar, you're not so accustomed to light. You're accustomed to being in the dark and not being seen, or not being valued, not being respected as you should. Even if those things are true of yourself, maybe you didn't value yourself. Maybe you didn't put yourself out there. You didn't let your light shine. There's no hiding the butterfly. The butterfly is beautiful. The butterfly can float around and see things that others can't see. So, because of what it is, it attracts attention. You're not in the dark anymore. So, you have to get accustomed to that. You have to make that transition mentally from where you were to where you are now and make that as part of your life, because that is the only way you're going to get to the final stage, which is sustainability. Can you sustain the change? That's why sustainability is important. And that's why I said little steps, small steps over time, day by day, making these micro adjustments that you can incorporate into your life, right? If I want to go from my current weight to 20 pounds lighter, I can't just focus on the 20 pounds and they melt away. I've got to change some things. I've got to change my activity level. I have to change what I'm intaking, what I'm eating. I have to change what I'm drinking. I have to put down the soda and pick up the water. There's some things that I have to do differently. But if I try to do it all at once, it may become too much and I get frustrated and then I go back to old habits. So, sustainable change is smaller changes, step by step, over time, that are getting incorporated or integrated into your life so that they become a part of just how you exist. They become a part of how you move through the world. So, it's not a big deal anymore. It's just it's just how I do things. It's integrated in so that I can sustain the transformation and I don't find myself part of the way there and then sliding all the way back to point A or even farther, right? So sustainability is important. It may involve changing who you spend the majority of your time with. It may involve changing what you watch and what you listen to. If you're watching, I have my what I call trash TV time. I have about once a week when I'm not going to do anything productive. I'm not trying to write. I'm not recording. I'm not doing anything but just kind of vegging out in front of the TV. And for that day, I'm probably going to watch some of the stuff that is not the best for me, right? I'm watching Housewives. I'm watching people, they're arguing, they're fighting, all this crazy stuff is going on. It's a small, it's something that I've incorporated in as a respite for my brain. I'm going to laugh and I'm going to blow it off and I get back to my typical day. Can you imagine if I'm taking that in every single day? If I'm watching nothing but things that are people arguing and not showing up as their best self, and I'm listening to music that makes me angry, I'm reading all the horrible things on the news, and I'm getting more and more frustrated, I have to watch my input. What I put in is what's going to come out. So I can maintain a balance now, but there was a time where it wasn't so balanced. So now I'm reading articles about mindset. I'm listening to podcasts about transformation, right? All the things that we talk about Monday through Friday, that's what I'm taking in most of that time because that's what's important to me. So what goes in is what I'm able to put out. If all I brought in was drama and chaos, that would be all I would have to offer the world. That's it, right? So mind your input. Be very mindful about what you're taking in. Be mindful about who you spend your time with. Be mindful about how you feel around the people that you're typically around. Are they motivating you? Are they bringing out the best in you? Or maybe, just maybe, they're holding you back. You have to do those assessments. Sometimes they don't feel good. I typically am the one in my family where people will come to if they want a level headed, reasonable conversation. They may be mad at their husband and he has gotten to them to the 10th degree and they just want to just let it all out. They know that that's a safe place. I'm a safe place for them to do that because I'm not going to add fuel to the fire. I'm not going to jump in there with them and tell them how horrible I think he is and he shouldn't have did this and he shouldn't have did that. Just fanning the flames, making them bigger and bigger. I'm going to listen because we have to get our stuff out. And sometimes what we need to get out is not so pretty, right? And the last thing you want is the next time you see that person, all they're talking about is how mad you were and all the stuff you said about your husband. And I see you like him today, but girl, you know he'll get on your nerves tomorrow. That's not the person that you want to, that's not a safe place. That's somebody who's going to keep stirring up your stuff and putting it in front of you and fanning the flames. You need a place, a trusted advisor. You need people that you in your corner, that when you do need to step outside your zen space and lose it a little bit, you can. But they're not gonna. It won't come back to you, and it certainly won't get to the person, your husband or whoever it was you may have been frustrated with. Because sometimes we just need to get it out, and then we can have the conversation that we need to have with the individual. Be careful who you give your stuff to. Be careful who sees all of you. Everybody has not deserved does not deserve. They haven't earned the right to all of you. Some people just get this. They just get you when you're on the top, at the top of your game, you know, in a certain box. That's all that they deserve, because you know what they're going to do with it. It could end up being detrimental to you. But man, isn't it great to be around your girlfriends or your guys that you can just relax? You can just kick back. You don't have to sit up straight in your chair. You don't necessarily have to use proper grammar. You just have your people that you can kick it with, and you can be as real is. You can tell them all your stuff and what you're struggling with, and they're going to support you through it. They're going to talk to you about, remind you of who you really are, not who you are in that moment where things are not going well, where you're just shedding your frustration, but they'll remind you of who you really are and whose you really are. And they will help you get it all out and then get yourself back together. Your good friends will get you together. I I so care for that set of people. That's usually a very small group. That's your inner circle. Honor that group. Realize who they are, and that's who gets all of you. People who haven't earned it, they get whatever piece of you they're interacting with. It may be, people at work may only know, most of the people at work only know a portion of you. A lot of people at my job have no idea that I do this. Not that it's something that I'm ashamed of. It's my proudest moment of every day. But we're not in a position to where they know me outside the walls of our company. So sometimes people stumble upon it and they're like, I had no idea. And then we have a conversation. Sometimes they join, sometimes they don't. But who I am is the same person all the time. But you don't get all of me unless you're a part of my inner circle. You have to protect yourself, and you have to use wisdom and know who you are with and how that person may take your weak moments and what they'll do with them. Will they help you make them strong? Will they help build you up when you're weak? Or will they use it as ammo against you down the road? Be very clear. Be very clear about who each person is in your life and the role that they play, and then you adjust accordingly. So, that is what I wanted to share with you guys today on this wonderful Transformation Tuesday. Understand where you are in the process. You may very much be in the cocoon. We all end up in a cocoon multiple times in our lives, because there's times where there's something new that we want, and that awareness kicks in. Phase one, things have got to change. Awareness that you want a change, you want something different. And then you get really clear about what that something different looks like. You build the vision, visionary. And then once you know what the vision is, plan. To plan your steps. What is it going to take for me to get there? And then you have to execute that plan. You've planned your work. Now you've got to work your plan. And then you're monitoring along the way to see how things are going. Are you meeting your goals? Are you meeting the objectives of your plan? Assess yourself, collect data, and use that to firm up your plan and increase your likelihood of achieving it. And then you want to reflect. That's the critical stage in the transformation process. What's working? What's not? What can I do to improve? How do I stay on track? How do I feel about this plan, this thing that I said I wanted? Now that I'm doing the work and I'm getting closer to it, Is it truly what I want? Do I still want it the way I did, or has something changed? Stay in touch with yourself, reflect on it, monitor and reflect. And then as you change, you have to have that mental and emotional change right along with this process. So you begin to see yourself as the new being that you're becoming. You have to integrate it into your life. And then that's what makes it the final step sustainable. If you want that change to be a change for life, break it down into small steps over time, integrating those steps into your life. And before you know it, you've broken out of that cocoon and you have become the butterfly. There's no going back. Once you spread those wings, you no longer fit in that cocoon. It actually is destroyed in the process. So that's what you have to realize. You can't go back. There's no reason to go back. You are a new creature and you are no longer that caterpillar. You are the beautiful butterfly. People can see the change now. Make sure that it's integrated and it's sustainable, and go and be the best version of your new self that you could possibly be. So that's it, guys, for this Transformation Tuesday. I think I see that quite a few people have joined. So let me see. Trina said Ratchet TV. Yes, that's it. I have my Ratchet TV moment about once a week where I just watch that dumb stuff. Let's see. Quite a few people have joined since I started. Good morning, Cliff. It is so good to see you. Welcome back. Hello, Karen, my beautiful aunt. Y'all, she is out there killing it. Karen, I meant to call you the other day. I think your video had been up for a day or two before I saw it. Karen's a new real estate agent. And me and my aunt are only 5 days apart. So we've done our entire lives together. My first memory of her that I really remember is me and her in the car with my mom and grandmother on our way to kindergarten. So the memories go all the way back to the beginning of school. And when I saw that video, I saw her living in her new butterfly phase, showing this beautiful home and having so much poise and confidence and so much personality. And I was so full of pride when I saw you, Karen. I just want you to know that I am so proud of you. And who knows where you're going to take this, but it's going to be huge. People's lives will be changed. They will find their dream homes because they're going to see that spark in your eye, that personality, and people are going to want to work with you. So just keep doing what you're doing, because you are absolutely amazing. And I don't know about anybody else, but I was like, y'all, look at my aunt. I was taking my phone around showing people. I was like, that's my aunt. Look how awesome she's doing. So just keep up the good work. I was just so proud. Good morning, Trina. I will be seeing you this afternoon, this evening, when it's time for our dance rehearsal. Shay, thank you for joining. Good morning, Christine. Grand Rising, Richard. It's so great to see you. There's somebody on LinkedIn with a light bulb. So something I said, I think, resonated with them, but you show up as LinkedIn user. So I don't know exactly who you are. Kimberly said, fly like a butterfly and soar like an eagle. I love that vision, Kim. You can just see it. And that's the beautiful thing about a vision, and why I talk about it all the time. Getting really clear about what you want, and creating that vision. Because when you see yourself soaring, when you see yourself stretched out and beautiful in color, it emotes feelings. It makes you feel something different. It starts to shift you on the inside, and that connects you to that vision and increases your potential of accomplishing it. Zion, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Zion said, you are amazing. Zion, what I'll say to you is game recognizes game. You are this guy, Mr. Positivity. He's on LinkedIn, y'all, and he has these positive Saturdays, and he's always talking about how you can be the best version of yourself, how we can collaborate and being positive. If y'all are not connecting and networking with people on social media, you are missing out. Zion's on the other side of the world. I'm not sure if any is on this morning. on the other side of the world, Dr. Ava. I've met all of these people virtually that I would not have had the opportunity to meet just by showing up and doing a little chatting and talking about what's important to me. And we've connected and we've actually started forming relationship. And they're showing up for me and I show up for them, because when they go into their audio rooms on LinkedIn, that's me taking in the good stuff. It's taking in more good stuff so that I have more good stuff in me to share with you all and share with the rest of my world. So I so appreciate you guys showing up. Let's see. Cliff said safe space. Good morning, Victoria. Victoria said, I definitely received this message. Blessings. Thank you so much for being here. And I am glad that I said something that resonated. There's my mom. Mom, can you put a comment? Was I a good girl? Am I still a good girl? I do the best I can, but we are all wrapped in this flesh, so sometimes we get it right and sometimes we don't. But me and my mom, and I'm in the middle because I have adult children, right? And of course, I'm my mom's oldest, so an adult child, very much so of hers. So it's so interesting to have experienced the evolution of relationships. When I was a young mom and my kids were little, I always said, I'm not your little friend. Because that's what my mama said to me. That's what my grandma said to me. I'm not your friend. And I meant that. And what I was saying to them is your friends may come and go, but I'm your mother forever. I'm your mom when you're at your best. I am your mom when you are at your worst. So I'm more than a friend. I'm always going to be there. But I am so thankful to God that I have lived long enough and relationships have evolved over time that my mom is my friend and my adult daughters are my friends, right? My son is only 19. He getting there. We still kind of in the parent child phase, but to be a friend of all three of those generations is amazing. And so, I don't know why I said that, but just seeing my mom made me think of it. But yes, I am a friend of and in the middle of two generations, and it's a great place to be. So that is it for today, guys. Transformation Tuesday is underway. I want to see you win. I want to see you make the best of it. Thank you, Sonia. Thanks for joining. And anything that I can do to help you along the path, I am a life coach and mindset strategist. If you don't hear me talk about anything else, mindset is always going to be wound into any conversation. If you're actually seeing me on the screen, M3 is my company name, Manifesting Miracle Makers. For short, I say M3. So that's what's in front of my name. But right beneath it, it says the voice within wins. I've got a free online course that talks about that will help you to tap into your inner voice so that you can hear that messaging that's playing in your head. And I've got step by step instructions on how you can capture that message and how you can reframe it so that you move from being your inner critic to being your inner advocate, and you get out of your way and you are advocating and working for yourself. It starts within. If you want to win, the mindset has to be right. And I'm here to help you with that every step of the way. So shoot me your email if you're interested. You can DM me or leave a comment with your email. Hi, Grace. Thanks for joining. And I will send you over the link to the free course. Someone took it last week, and it's a mini course just to introduce you to me as a coach and the concepts that I carry you through, and to help you to begin that journey. And she took it last week, and she told me it took her about, when she was just plugged into it, it only took her about 30 minutes to get through it. But she said it was well written and she really got a lot out of it. I finished the full course last night. My goal is to launch that on my birthday, which is April the 27th. So, if you're listening, we're going to have to start doing some marketing and getting the word out that course is coming. But everyone who's taken the free course, this is the next step. It's a paid course. It's going to take you hours to get through, maybe a few days, because you can take it at your own pace, stop and go as it works into your life. But it's going to work into much detail the 6 C's of eliminating self-limiting beliefs. So it's another level of getting in there and digging in and really working on your mindset and getting to the point of building your plan and getting clear about what you want. All the things that we talk about is rolled into one online self-paced course. So my hope for you is that you'll take the free course first. You'll lay the groundwork, and then by the time you're done with that, I'll have the other course. I'm gonna put it out hopefully this week at a discount. So people who want to pre-register, you'll be able to do that for more than 50% off the actual course. So reach out to me, and I'm happy to talk to you in more detail about all of that. But in the meantime, send me your email, get involved in the free course, start to do the work that's going to help you have the life that you desire. And then step by step, we'll move through the rest of the M3 program as you're ready. All right. So thank you guys for a wonderful Transformation Tuesday. Lots of new faces, lots of comments and interaction. So I appreciate you all so very much. And we will be back tomorrow at the same time, 7:15 a.m. Central. And tomorrow we'll talk about gratitude. No, tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow we will talk about being intentional. It's Wake Up Wednesday. And so we will continue the conversation. You continue to be blessed and go and have a great rest of your Transformation Tuesday. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining in.